Most people think a Toyota is only good until 200,000 miles. After that, they expect problems, major repairs, and eventually the end of the road. But that belief is completely wrong. Toyota vehicles are built with a philosophy of over-engineering and long life in mind. Many of them can easily pass 300,000 miles, and some even reach 500,000 if they are cared for the right way. This is not about driving slow or just being lucky with the model you bought. It is about doing simple maintenance at the right time before the damage starts. Miss those small steps and even the best Toyota will fail early. Follow them and your car can stay reliable for years longer than most people imagine. In this script, you'll learn real habits trusted by experienced Toyota mechanics. No fancy tools, no complicated tricks, just smart, disciplined care that protects your car from the inside out. Engine oil is the single most important factor in how long your Toyota will last. Inside the engine, thousands of metal parts move together at incredibly high speeds and under extreme heat. Oil creates a microscopic protective layer that prevents metal from grinding against metal. It also acts as a cleaning agent, carrying carbon deposits and dirt away from critical areas. But oil is not invincible. Over time, heat and pressure break down its chemical structure. When oil becomes old, it turns into sludge. It loses its ability to lubricate and starts sticking to engine parts. Friction increases, temperatures rise, and wear speeds up at an alarming rate. Many engines that could have reached 300,000 miles fail early simply because oil changes were skipped. For most Toyotas, the sweet spot is every 5,000 to 6,000 miles. While some manuals say 10,000 miles, that is often for ideal conditions. If you want 300,000 miles, change it more often. It is the cheapest way to protect the most expensive part of your car. 2. The hidden importance of battery terminals. A car that won't start always seems to fail at the worst possible moment, usually when you are in a hurry or in bad weather. Many drivers assume the battery is dead and spend hundreds of dollars on a replacement. However, often the real culprit is simple corrosion on the battery terminals. That white, powdery or bluish buildup acts as an insulator, blocking the flow of electricity from the battery to the starter motor. Cleaning battery terminals takes only a few minutes and costs almost nothing. By doing this twice a year, you ensure that your alternator can charge the battery efficiently and that your car gets a strong burst of power every time you turn the key. Clean connections reduce the electrical load on the system and prevent those frustrating no-start situations. It's a small detail that most people ignore, but it saves your electrical system from unnecessary stress. Cooling system, preventing internal corrosion. The coolant in your radiator does more than just stop the engine from overheating on a hot day. In modern Toyota engines, coolant contains special additives that protect internal metal parts and rubber seals from corrosion. Over several years, these additives wear out, and the coolant becomes acidic. When this happens, it starts to eat away at your water pump, your hoses, and the delicate passages inside the engine block. Changing your coolant every 50,000 miles or every 5 years is vital. If you wait until the engine overheats, the damage might already be done. For owners of hybrid Toyotas, this is even more critical because the hybrid inverter system has its own cooling loop. Inverters are extremely expensive to replace, but fresh coolant is cheap. Think of it as a protective shield that keeps your engine's internal temperature and chemistry perfectly balanced. Transmission fluid, the balance of power. The transmission is often the most misunderstood part of a car. Some people say you should never touch the fluid, while others change it too frequently. The truth for a high-mileage Toyota lies in the middle. Inside the transmission, small friction particles from the clutches actually help the system grip. If you wait 200,000 miles and then change the fluid, you might wash away those particles and cause the transmission to slip. The best strategy is a simple drain and refill every 60,000 miles. This refreshes the additives without shocking the system. Avoid high-pressure flushes, which can force dirt into tiny valves. Always use the specific Toyota-approved fluid, whether it's World Standard, WS, or another type. Using the wrong fluid can lead to rough shifting and eventual failure. Proper transmission care ensures that your car shifts smoothly for decades, not just years. 5. Brake fluid, security under pressure. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means it naturally absorbs moisture from the air over time. You might not see it, but water is slowly entering your brake lines. This moisture does two bad things. It lowers the boiling point of the fluid, which can lead to brake fade during hard stopping, and it causes rust inside your brake calipers and ABS master cylinder. By changing your brake fluid every 3 to 5 years, you ensure your pedal stays firm and your stopping distance remains short. Fresh fluid should be a clear or light amber color. If yours looks like dark coffee, it's time for a change. This is not just about car longevity. It is about your safety. A well-maintained braking system gives you the confidence to handle any situation on the road. 6. Power steering, effortless control. If you drive an older Toyota with a hydraulic power steering system, the fluid is what makes turning the wheel feel light and easy. Over time, this fluid gets contaminated with tiny bits of rubber from the hoses and metal from the pump. If the fluid becomes too dirty, it puts extra pressure on the seals, leading to leaks. If you hear a whining or groaning sound when you turn the steering wheel, your fluid might be low or dirty.
Replacing the power steering fluid every 50,000 to 70,000 miles is a simple way to prevent a $1,000 steering rack replacement. It keeps the steering feel sharp and ensures that you remain in total control of the vehicle as it ages. 7. Drivetrain care, differentials and transfer cases. For those who drive Toyota trucks like the Tacoma or Tundra, or SUVs like the RAV4 and Highlander with all-wheel drive, there are extra gears that need love. The differential and transfer case use heavy-duty oil to send power to the wheels. These parts work incredibly hard, especially if you enjoy off-roading, towing, or driving in heavy snow. Mechanics recommend changing these fluids early, often around 30,000 miles for the first time, to remove the break-in metal shavings. After that, regular intervals will keep your gears quiet and smooth. A neglected differential can start to hum or howl, leading to a very expensive repair. Keeping these fluids fresh is a hallmark of a 300,000-mile vehicle owner. 8. Air filtration, letting the engine breathe. Think of your engine like an athlete. It needs to breathe clearly to perform. The engine air filter is the mask that keeps dust, sand, and debris out of the combustion chamber. A clogged filter restricts airflow, making the engine work harder to pull in air. This wastes fuel and can even lead to carbon buildup on the valves. Replacing the air filter every 12,000 to 15,000 miles, or more often if you live in a dusty area, is one of the easiest DIY tasks you can do. It takes 2 minutes and no tools. Similarly, don't forget the cabin air filter, which keeps the air you breathe inside the car clean. A clean engine air filter improves throttle response and ensures that the lungs of your Toyota stay healthy. 9. Spark plugs, the heart of combustion. Spark plugs are responsible for the explosion that moves your pistons. Many modern Toyotas come with iridium plugs that can last 100,000 or even 120,000 miles. However, as they age, the gap between the electrodes grows wider. This forces the ignition coils to work harder to jump the gap, which can eventually burn out the coils. Using the exact OEM Toyota, usually Denso or NGK spark plugs, is essential. Cheap performance plugs often don't work well with Toyota's computer systems. Changing them on time prevents engine misfires, maintains your gas mileage, and ensures the engine runs as smoothly as the day it left the factory. 10. The 12-volt battery and electrical stability. Even in the most advanced hybrid Toyotas, there is still a standard 12-volt battery. This battery doesn't just start the car, it acts as a stabilizer for all the computers and sensors. When a battery gets weak, the voltage fluctuates, which can cause the car's computer to throw ghost error codes or warning lights that aren't actually there. Most batteries have a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. Instead of waiting for the battery to die and leave you stranded, have it tested once a year. Replacing a weak battery early protects your alternator and keeps your sensitive electronics safe from voltage spikes. It's a small price to pay for total electrical reliability. The serpentine belt, the master link. Under the hood there is a single rubber belt that connects your engine to the alternator, the air conditioning compressor, and sometimes the water pump. This is the serpentine belt. Because it is made of rubber, it eventually dries out and cracks. If this belt snaps while you are driving, your battery will stop charging and your engine might overheat within minutes. Every time you change your oil, take a flashlight and look at the belt. If you see cracks, fraying edges, or a shiny glazed look, it needs to be replaced. Most belts last about 100,000 miles. Replacing it before it breaks is the difference between a routine service and a stressful breakdown on the side of the highway. This point only applies to certain older Toyota engines, like the V6 in older Camrys or Tundras, but it is the most important one. The timing belt keeps the top and bottom of the engine in perfect sync. If a timing belt snaps on an interference engine, the valves and pistons will collide, effectively destroying the engine in a fraction of a second. If your Toyota has a timing belt, it must be changed every 90,000 miles. No excuses. If your Toyota has a timing chain, you generally don't need to replace it, but you must keep your oil clean to prevent the chain from stretching. Knowing which one your car has is vital to its survival. 13. The power of genuine Toyota parts. When it comes time for repairs, you will be tempted by cheap parts from big box stores. But there is a reason why Toyota mechanics insist on genuine Toyota or OEM parts. Toyota parts are manufactured to the exact tolerances of your specific vehicle. An aftermarket oil filter might not have the correct anti-drain back valve, causing your engine to run dry for a second every time you start it. Using high-quality parts is an investment. They fit perfectly the first time, and they last significantly longer than the cheap alternatives. If your goal is 300,000 miles, you cannot build a high-mileage machine using low-quality components. Closing. A commitment to excellence. Reaching 300,000 miles in a Toyota is not a matter of luck. It is a commitment. It is the result of consistent care, paying attention to the small details, and using quality materials. Each maintenance task we discussed today might seem small on its own, but together, they form a shield that protects your vehicle from the ravages of time and mileage. When you take care of your Toyota, you aren't just maintaining a car, you are preserving your freedom, your safety, and your finances. A paid-off Toyota that runs perfectly is the best financial asset you can have. Follow these habits, stay disciplined with your schedule, and your Toyota will stay on the road long after others have faded away.